Welcome to He Did This to Me, the sports podcast from a father and son who happen to be mostly optimistic Knicks, Mets, and Jets fans. My name is Nick, a.k.a. Goody, and with me is my old man, a.k.a. the big guy, Noel. And just like his name, all we do is win. Let's get to the show. It's time to begin. I must say, the Knicks did get a win today, but I don't know if there's too many wins that I don't feel great after, but this might be one of them. The Knicks win 99-98 against the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets without most of their best players. I mean, they were missing 4 starters and their 6th man. And the Knicks come into town, last game of a road trip. They sat at 2-2. They needed this win to end up with the road trip being a successful trip, at least being over 500. And they do take care of business. Very, very sluggish start. And, Brunson pretty much took over in the 4th and brought us home. Talk to me, big guy. How are we feeling about our Knicks?
Yeah, that was a tough win, actually. I feel like the Knicks are, they're in flux right now. They got to figure it out. They got to play better. We didn't play with enough energy. I mean, that's the main issue the last few nights is energy. I know a lot of people want to bitch and moan about this, that, and the other thing. It's all energy, man. We have to come out and play with more force and energy from minute 1 to minute 48, and we're not doing that. We're doing that in spurts. You hope at some point you figure it out and just start doing that more consistently. I don't know who is the player or players to make that happen. Clearly, I'm sure the coach is barking in their ear, trying to stay on them, but you have to work in a certain way. And the other thing is this that people have to recognize, and I always try to recognize, is that the other guys are professional players too. Although they're not starters, people almost act like when these players aren't playing, like there's no one replacing them. There is always someone replacing them who happens to be a professional basketball player or football player or whatever.
Yeah, they're pros, in any case, they're not right? Starters in the league.
We should be better. Listen, if we play up to our potential, we run them off the court. But clearly we didn't. What my point is that you only need to be a little off your game for these guys who are not top flight to be able to match you and to be able to battle you. And we didn't play up to how we're supposed to play. If we play that way, we dominate. If we don't, we're susceptible to lose to anybody, any night. But we can also win with anybody, any night. That's what makes it so frustrating.
Yeah, man. I mean, so as far as the players being out, that almost makes me a little bit nervous as a Knicks fan throughout my life. It's like we always end up having these games where the other team has a bunch of people that I've never heard of and they have career games. These are guys who are hungry for an opportunity, who are sitting on the bench, and now all of a sudden they get a chance to shine. And it's a day game, just all those things. I just had a bad feeling going into this game, honestly. And then once you actually get into the game, the way that we begin, it's tough to watch sometimes because it's just like, guys, I don't understand. Wake the fuck up. What is the problem? Why aren't we just bringing it from the very beginning? And the number one culprit when it comes to that, and kind of the guy who is seeming to embody this entire Knicks season at the moment, Mikal Bridges. Yo, man, Mikal Bridges. I'm starting to get very, very nervous, okay? Because he can't shoot. He's not playing defense. His point of attack defense is so shaky, and I don't understand exactly what's going on. You got guys like Ish Smith just getting to whatever spot they want and doing him today. And he seems like he's just a step slow and just a bit out of it. Like I texted you at one point in the game, he looks sleepy. And you saw at the end of the game, Deuce was out there instead of him. And Deuce is giving you more than he is on both ends of he can stick a shot, and he's playing at least somewhat intense defense. Bridges is making me very, very nervous, and Knicks Twitter is coming for him. I'm telling you, yo, this guy better figure something out. I don't know what the deal is, but he needs to figure something out and needs to do it fast.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Bridges has not had the best start. He's been off. He's made me nervous too. But the fact of the matter is, Nick, he, like everyone else, is going to play to the back of their card, right? He's going to be fine. He better figure something out because Knicks Twitter's come from. Come on, man, forget that. What's Knicks Twitter going to do? As long as Tom Thibodeau ain't caring about that, it don't matter. And Tom Thibodeau ain't going to give up on this guy this season. He's going to figure it out.
I'm not saying that it's going to affect his ability to. It's not going to get him out of the lineup. but it's going to affect him. It's how his fan base feels about him.
Right.
That's something that should be too important to him, I would think.
Well, listen, it's
Should be
important to
important
him
to
that he
everybody.
plays well. I think
Yeah.
that's the most important thing to him. And if he plays well, everything else takes care of itself. He's not playing well, and he will, I think, figure it out. He's probably, having a tough time transitioning to this position because he's not the main guy, doesn't take an endless amount of shots. But listen, I've been disappointed in this play as well. He needs to show better aggressiveness and just force and aggressiveness on the court. I also think a lot of these guys will be better when we have someone like Mitch back or something. When we have more, anytime somebody's able to get into the lane now, it's a wrap. I mean, we don't seem to do anything to anybody once they get in the lane. They get in the lane and they have a layup or they get fouled. And we don't block any shots in the lane. We don't intimidate anybody. We don't alter any shots. And that's a problem for our perimeter defenders somewhat, making them even look worse. But listen, he has to play better. He has to play better. And I think he will. He's been off. I mean, he had a couple games there where he played great. Now he's been slumping. He'll figure it out, is my belief. I hope. I don't know. What else can you say?
I hope so. I'm not confident in it just because the things that I'm seeing are lack of effort, which is hard to understand. Like I watched him after a turnover jog up the court with the guy ahead of him, just going to the basket and laying it up, and he was jogging. He just straight up was jogging. And some of those turnovers have been of the lazy variety where he's just doing some lazy shit. And he's
at the end of the first half.
Yeah, that was the stupidest pass I've ever seen. Oh my God.
I yelled so loud the dogs left the room after that. They went into the bedroom with your mom. They were scared.
Yo, get away from this guy. Yo, man. Man, I mean, what? I just don't understand what's wrong with him. It's hard to understand. Okay, listen, he's shooting terribly. He's shooting 30% from three, which he typically is higher up around 38. It's something that you hope will get worked out. But when I hear that a guy is changing his form and whatnot, maybe this is the new him with this new form. And now he's just a 30% shooter instead of a 38% shooter after we gave up 5 first-round picks for him. And I just feel like, dude, man, it's the lack of intensity and the inability to stop anyone. I thought that this guy was supposed to be a dynamite defender, and he looks like an absolute just like skinny, spindly guy who any guy can just get a shoulder into him and get right to the spot he wants and just do whatever he wants, and Bridges can't do shit about it. And you know what? When it comes to the shot blocking part, I feel like Cat has been put at been put in such a tough position, specifically by Bridges and by Brunson somewhat, because they can't keep nobody in front of them. At one point today, I was like, JB, you got to do a little bit better at keeping your guy in front of you right there. And you're just letting this guy easily get around you. And Bridges has done that quite a bit as well, man. He's just, I don't know, man. When I saw him get done like that by Ish Smith, I was like, yo, bro, come on, man. What are we doing? It's really, really hard to understand how this guy, defense is not something that usually slumps. It's just not.
No, but it does. Honestly, Nick, when we used to watch this guy with Brooklyn, and I would say with you when the Knicks were playing Brooklyn, I don't want this guy. He's soft, or feel like he's soft in the head, like a little weak-minded. He's not. Listen, Nick, if you're looking for a tough, gritty guy who can deal with things when they are going south and just be steely and lead your team, there we got to go Brunson. The one thing we know is that's not Bridges, and we're seeing that in spades right now. He's faltering a little bit under the bright lights. He's got to figure it out. I think he will, Nick. I really do. He's got to figure it out though, and he's got to make the shots when they're asked to him. Also, too, man, dude, when you miss a few of your jumpers, I mean, I get it. He just won't go to the hole, Nick. Not all the way to the hole. He will. Only if passed the ball like right up to the rim, he'll go there. But if he drives in the lane, he's almost assured to pull up and take a jumper. Even when he has a chance sometimes, I don't see him just going and laying it off the glass. It's like, I'm serious. It's like he's allergic to that. I don't get that.
He did that once against Dallas, and it surprised me. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Right.
He also did that. He also did that 3 celly against Dallas when he hit a 3, and we were down by like we were down by 1 million at the time, and it's like, it's like the first shot. Wow, sorry. It's like the first shot that he had hit in so long, and I'm like, dude, this is when you want to do this celly? Like, take it easy, bro.
What's that called? A celly? What is that? A celly?
Celly. It's a celebration. It's what the kids are saying these days. He's
take note, youngsters.
No, you take note, old man.
Yeah, right.
But nah, man. Like, I just feel like this guy. At the end of the day, I'm hoping that he, just be the guy. Just be a good defender. Give me 14 to 18 points. The defense part is really, really hard to watch right now. The guy, I mean, you could tell that the shot is, you could tell he's struggling. You could tell like he's thinking about the shot. It feels like it, but he's continuing to put him up, which is what you would hope that he would do. Don't want him to get gun shy. We just need him to turn it around, man. The defensive effort and the stupid turnovers. I mean, he's got to be better at that. He just has to be. And I hope he will.
Listen, if he keeps up with the bullshit, I mean, Deuce is going to get more minutes. Campaign is going to get more of those minutes. Hey, some of those guys got to get minutes, man, and just get more and more minutes. If Deuce is playing the way he played today, he got to be on the court, man. He's got to be on the court, not just because he deserves it. We need it. Okay, we need him on the court if he's playing, because we needed him to do what he did today for us. Absolutely, So I don't know, man. I mean, Deuce, where's my man Daddy A? I don't know. We'll see, but it's a tough one. I mean, at least we won, though. We're complaining in a win, so let's realize that, right?
Yeah, the Knicks do pick up the win. Like I said, they finished the trip 3-2. They got a great win against the Nuggets. They go in and just dominate them from the jump, and they look great. And then they come out against the Mavericks and lay an egg. Terrible first quarter, and just were absolutely out of it by halftime. Tried to make a little bit of a run in the second half, but never even really made it too interesting. The season continues to just be a season of fits and starts. We, look good one day, and then the next day we look terrible, and it's hard to understand. It seems like Brunson and Cat are giving you that consistency. OG had his best offensive night ever against the Nuggets. He has 40 points, very efficient 40, looks great. And it seems like he used up all his powers in that game because in these last two games, he's looked totally spent, and he hasn't been able to, give you the offensive punch that you had started to get accustomed to from OG. So, I mean, today's game, what did OG do? He had 8 points in 39 minutes.
Again, Nick, reverting to the mean. Back of the baseball card, man. I mean, listen, we all got hyped up for a second there thinking like OG was going to start doing this like 26 points a game. It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. We're lucky. We're in good stead if OG gives us a consistent 18 points a game. That would be very good, Nick. But that's reality. Okay, that 40-point shit, that was great, but that was, lucky 7, Come on.
Yeah, Jonathan Schaub, y'all never read my comments. Sorry, Jonathan. I don't know if you're a frequent commenter on our lives, but I do see that you did comment, and so we appreciate
Shout out,
Shout out to Jonathan. But then when you look at the box score, man, we're logging heavy minutes again. You're looking at 41 minutes for Josh Hart, 39 for OG, 39 for Cat, 36 for Bridges, 36 for Brunson, and then 26 for McBride. Jericho Sims had 8 minutes, and Campaign gave us 11.
But Nick, here we go with minutes, please. Where were the minutes to get? Who did you want in the game? That's all I would say to anybody. We were desperate this game. So at some point, if we put Daddy in the game and we end up losing by 9, I get it, man. We'd like to get other guys in the game, but there wasn't a lot of room to, be frivolous with minutes today.
Yeah, no, I mean, we won by 1 point. So you can't really be like, hey, this guy is playing too much or too little. But I mean, it's just a cumulative effect. And I mean, if you look at, us overall, the Knicks are playing too many. The Knicks starters are playing too many minutes right now. It's not sustainable. But hopefully, as guys get back, as we get Precious back, and as we get Mitch back, we're able to find some more minutes. You look at a team like you look at the Warriors, who are always ahead of the curve, it seems like, when it comes to like NBA trends. And they're running legit 10 guys a night. And Kerr said before the season that he was going to do that because he knows how important it is to keep guys fresh at the end of the season. I think that, and we'll see when these guys come back. I think that the Knicks need to lengthen their rotation and play more guys between now and the end of the season. And I think if we don't, it doesn't matter what our record is or what how good of a team we are at that point. I don't think we're going to be able to be healthy when it counts. I just think I just don't think it's. I just think the numbers add up.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I think you're probably right. Hope you're wrong. But we got to get guys healthy. But I don't know. I mean, why is Mitch or Precious coming back gonna give us better rotation minutes at the 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3? You know what I mean? I mean, does that really affect that so much? You know what I mean?
But the thing is that OG kind of plays the 4, so I'm hoping that Precious is able to take away some of those minutes.
Right.
And then, and then with Mitch playing, that'll be less minutes for Cat. So
I agree. But what does that do for us? So I'm talking about Mitch. I'm talking about Bridges and Brunson. And
there needs to be. I think there needs to be another guard or wing type player, and that's either going to be Pacome Dadier, or it's going to be Tyler Kolek, or it's going to be Shamit when he comes back. But one of those guys needs to around 12 a game.
Or how about you just flesh out this guy? What's his name's minutes? Our guy with the dancing man with the slingshot.
Oh, Campaign, yeah, Campaign.
I mean, or Deuce, more minutes, more for those guys.
Listen, Deuce plays a decent amount. Deuce usually gets up in the mid-20s at least, and so like today he played 26 minutes. Campaign played 11 minutes. You want to get a few more from Campaign.
Get him to 15. Easy.
Yeah, get him up to 15, and then I don't. Listen, I'm obviously if Tom Thibodeau thought that Pacome Dadier and Kolek could get out there and could give the team something, he would put them out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to let you might have to go through some tough times. You might take a couple L's because of it, Tom Thibodeau, in the grand scheme of things. Right. And hey, maybe, and I'm going to be mad when we lose, but he's got to be smarter than me and look more big picture and get, and get these guys acclimated to the point where they can give us quality minutes so we don't run people into the ground.
I would imagine that he is having the exact same thought, and he's hoping for every game to do that. And going into today, he's probably okay. We're playing these guys. They're missing 4 of their starters. Hopefully, second half, we get that. And boom, here we are. And he ends up having to run these guys. So I think it's really tough, and I think you can have that mindset. But when you're in the middle of the game, you got to try to win that game. And he needed it today, and we won it today. If we lost this game today, I don't give a shit how many minutes anybody played. Our hair would have been on fire. All of us, the entire Knick Nation. So it's a really tough spot. I believe in Thibodeau, but he could lengthen his rotation somewhat. There's no doubt about that.
My only thing is that unfortunately, I don't think that he's thinking that way. And I just don't, because he is who he is, like who he's always been. And
so then why would he play those guys ever?
I think that he plays. Listen, I think Thibodeau is out there trying to win a game, and depending on the score, he will get certain people in. But I don't think that he puts a lot of time and thought into the fact that, hey, maybe these guys are playing too much, and I want to, find ways to get them, less minutes overall. And it's not just me that feels that way. Even on the Del Curry and whoever the other guy was, who was very excited. The game was the other commentator, the play-by-play guy, was so excited.
You were listening to their telecast?
I had it on NBA TV. So yeah.
Oh no, I was watching on the app.
My NBA TV, the feed is so much better than the NBA app. I have the issues with that. But yeah, it was Del Curry, and I don't hate them. And when I don't hate, I sometimes do like to hear like what another, broadcast team has to say about us. But they were like, they made the comment like, yeah, I mean, listen, Tom Thibodeau's going to play his minutes, because Bridges had played the entire first quarter and the entire third quarter. And they were like, well, he leads the league in minutes. And we know that Tom Thibodeau is going to play his starters quite a bit. Like that's the book on him. I don't think it's always super fair. I don't think it's always super fair. I do think that this year thus far, we just got to figure something out. We got to figure something out different as far as the minute distribution. But overall, listen, man, the Knicks get a win. We'll take it. We looked absolutely excellent in that game against Denver. Best offense that you've seen from a Knicks team maybe ever. 145 points, the most points scored in the NBA this season. And just, OG with a huge night. Cat was like 30 and 15 that night. Brunson, I think, had 26 and 17 assists.
Big game.
Huge game from Brunson. And, the Knicks just looked great in that game. But that Dallas game, I don't understand. I don't understand how we come out. It's just so lackadaisical, and you got guys like friggin' PJ Washington, getting in his bag. See, you didn't listen to the Hornets broadcast. That in the last few games, the amount of times, because PJ Washington was one, and then in this game today, we had two different, I forget exactly who they were, but two different players who hadn't hit a shot in. They hit three in like the last 7 to 9, missed their last 9, and they of course hit them both on. It was the Martin. It was Martin.
Caleb
Martin. And then it was no, this is Cody Martin. Caleb is his twin. This is Cody. Cody Martin. And then it was somebody else who hadn't hit a shot the last 7-8. Of course, boom. PJ Washington, same thing. Hadn't hit a shot, couldn't make a shot. But then he starts getting tap dunks, he starts getting into it, and then boom. We're in bad shape. My man CP, who I often do the True Knicks Talk Live post game show with him. He's in the chat. He gave us a salute, and he also says, "Deuce McBride, start him." Been saying this. How do you feel about that, big guy?
So what's he saying? Start him over Bridges, obviously.
That's clearly what he said.
I think. Well, I mean,
if we get 5 picks for a guy that we have to bring off the bench, I'm going to be furious.
No, but it may be to a thing with Nick where you bring him off the bench for a while, just kind of like, I mean, listen, man, maybe he needs to retool, rejigger or something. I don't know. But also, it may end up coming to that, man. If it does, then it does. And see, that's the thing. I don't think Tom Tibbs would be like some lesser coaches, I think, would be like not wanting to do that because of how much we gave up to get Bridges. I think if Tom Thibodeau thought that was the best way going forward, he would do that. But I think they're going to give every effort to get this guy Bridges right. I think we as fans are way more knee-jerk than is necessary, and that's right. That's why, because we're fans, He will figure it out. Calm down, woosah.
Listen, man, if you have to start bringing this guy off the bench, first of all, I don't think he can handle that. I think that would crush his confidence so much.
Right.
It would crush his confidence so much. And also, again, like you said, like I don't think that Tibbs is trying to, placate management in some way by saying. So I don't think he's thinking, oh well, we gave up all these. No, I don't think Tibbs thinks like that. But I hope that overall, we still have the confidence in this guy, and we think he can get it done like you do. I'm hoping that within the organization they feel that way. I mean, this guy's got his best friends with him, the guys that he's known for a long time. They should be able to figure this out and get him going, get him right. And I like Deuce off the bench. I like what he brings. He's still going to give those big minutes, but like we saw today, what we will see moving forward is if Bridges is on that bullshit, then Deuce is going to finish games.
But now let's know. Maybe you bring Bridges off the bench and he's with the second team and it becomes Brooklyn Nets light. You know what I'm saying? Where he's running things with the second team.
That's a disaster if we end up having to not start this guy, Dad, after we just gave up the whole kit and caboodle for him. That's a disaster if that happens.
You bring him and Campaign together. That's a turbo unit. No, I don't know. No, we don't want that.
He plays with that second unit a lot because quite often we get like Towns out first, and then we'll get like Josh Hart out, and then they'll leave Brunson and Bridges in with the second unit, and then they get Brunson out, and then Bridges plays even a little bit more with the second unit. He's just got to be better, man. He's just got to be better. He's got the hitting. I get it. Guys go through ups and downs when it comes to their shots. The shot can slump. Look at Dante's numbers over there. He's shooting.
This is what I'm saying.
Low, 33% from 3.
It'd be all right.
But he needs to wake the fuck up on defense, okay? He has to be better. He has to. I don't understand. Somebody needs to give him some ginseng or something, like slap him before the game. Something has to happen. I mean, like, come on, man. Josh Hart should be looking at him like, yo, what is going on? Why is Ish Smith giving you the business? What's going on? What's going on?
That's not good.
He's got to figure something out, man.
It's just he's got to be like 35 now, right?
Yeah, 35, and he's played for 35 NBA teams. And and this guy was, I mean, he just took him straight to his spot and just did whatever he wanted to him. Mikal Bridges, you got to be better, dog. You got to figure it out. I'm gonna keep faith in you. I got faith. All right, I'm gonna keep the faith in you, but it's time for you to figure it out because it's getting maddening watching this guy play. When we're down like 17, and it's and you're like 1 of 4 from 3, and you want to give one of these. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, man.
I think he was trying to make that symbol to campaign. That's how they connect.
No, he does that a lot. That's his thing. After he hits 3, goes like this.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool when we're rolling. Brunson doesn't do this when we're down 17.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the thing, man. He's got kind of like a childish mindset. He plays like he plays like a 14-year-old kid who's like the man at AAU.
Yeah, he does look a little bewildered at times. Just a little, that faraway stare.
Yeah, man.
Hello, we're over here,
like
man. We're over here.
Thinking about the sandwiches mom made him and that he's got in the lunchbox for after the game.
It is.
We're buffering. We're buffering. The big guy. You're buffering.
Okay.
You're buffering.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Buffering. Okay.
I know. Just stop talking for a second. Okay. All right. You're back. Okay. All right. But
should have just said pause.
Yeah, that's again. You're misusing pause again.
I know. I'm misusing it. That was the joke.
Yeah. My guy CP says that. I feel like the optics of it certainly isn't good. I understand that Nets fans would run wild on LMAO. Yeah, they would run wild if we ended up having to put. Hey, listen, he's not getting demoted. He's not getting taken out of the starting lineup. That's not happening anytime soon. He's just got to get better, man. He's got to figure it out. Man. Listen, he's lucky. He's lucky that we're not like a few games under 500, because then things would be the temperature would be turned up greatly. But we still are. The East is middling, and we've been able to keep our head above water, and we're still in a position where a little run and you feel like the record is good, but it just doesn't seem like we can get any consistency from quarter to quarter sometimes, and we can't get stops, dude. There's times in games where it's like, can we get 2 consecutive stops, and we just can't do it. That Dallas game in the third quarter, we played great offensively, but we just couldn't get a stop. We couldn't string some stops together to be able to get back into that game, and that continues to be the issue. I will say this: if you tell me at the beginning of the season that we'll get to November 29th and the Knicks will be 3 games over 500, and
are we 13-10?
That's what I want. Yeah, I think we're 13-10. Let me check and make sure. But yeah, if you
13-9,
told me that, I'll tell you.
I thought it might be 13-9 because I thought we came into today 12-9.
Dude, we're both way off. We're 11-8. Okay. So the thing is that if you told me that we would be 11-8, okay, and we would have the best offense that I've ever seen as a Knicks fan, and our issue would be that we need to tighten up the D and Tom Thibodeau as our coach, I would say, okay, I feel pretty good about that. So hopefully we can get it done. I don't know what we got to do. Bridges, I'm telling you, a hard slap before the game might be what that guy needs. I think Josh Hart is the guy to do it. But we need to do something, man. We need to do something. We need to pick it up. We have this season that, we have that part in the season right now where we got a lot of home games. We got a lot. Tuesday we play Orlando, and even without Banchero, they're playing well. Next game is going to be Sunday against the Pelicans. The Pelicans are a dumpster fire this year. Then we get the Hornets again. Then we get the Pistons. Then we get the Raptors. Then we go to Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns goes back to his old stomping grounds. But then you get the Pelicans again after that. The Raptors again after that. We got to string something together. All right, we got to string something together. We need like a good 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? Yeah. We need that. We need that right now, and this is the time to do it. The schedule it permits that right now. We just got to make it happen.
The main thing is, we got to figure that out, go on a run, all that good stuff. But we need to be playing our best ball in the latter part of the season. But we need to play decent ball now to make that count and make it matter. We can't put ourselves in a hole just like we can't do it in every game. It's the same with the season as it is in games, right? Where we constantly put ourselves in holes, fight our way back, and then it's difficult to finish it off. So we need to start doing that here. I really do believe we will. It's been tough. I mean, there've been some tough games out there, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Again, like you said, we at least did win today, so it's not
That's right.
not something that it's not one of those that, because I tell you, I would have been this would have really, 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 really ruined my day today if the Knicks would have lost to Charlotte without five of their 6 best players. That would have been a tough one. So hey, we got it done. Like I said, Brunson was the man in the fourth. Brunson took over.
Yeah, he
in the
was.
Fourth.
Yeah,
he really did. And some of the offensive fouls that Cat gets, dude, like some of the fouls he gets in general, just like, come on, man, take it. Like, what do we do down the stretch, Dad? We did some stupid shit down the stretch where like Brunson fouled and gave up an N1.
That was a stupid foul.
It was
and
so
listen, if
stupid.
you're gonna, but see, that's the foul, Nick, where I'm saying to you, Brunson never commits that foul. And I don't take anything away from him. And I actually don't want him to do it because I don't want him to get hurt. But he never delivers the hard foul there. If you're going to foul there, deliver the hard foul. You can't let him score.
He broke his hand.
Right. He will never foul any like that. And that's fine. But Campaign would. But he wasn't holding the guy, obviously. But I was screaming at the TV.
But just give him the dunk right there. It was just a situation where it's just give him a dunk right there. When you're small on the floor, you're not going to be able to foul. You're probably not going to, even if you try, you're not going to be able to stop this guy from getting an N1 probably.
And wait, let me ask you something about this guy. The guy that
and then
he fouled,
OG,
what's his name?
OG had the stupid foul.
Yeah, he did. But this guy who he fouled, who Karl Anthony Towns was holding, he was like their center. Diabate. Okay. Nick, I got a question because I don't know this guy. I never seen that guy before in my life. Can he shoot from the outside?
No.
I don't understand why then we were playing him like people were running at this guy near the 3-point line. Then he was driving to the hole. I was like, what is going on? Why is anyone running towards this man? I mean, stand at the foul line. If he's at the 3-point line, just stand there like this. I didn't understand that, Nick. I saw people run beyond the foul line towards him, and then he drove around them. And I was just like, well, maybe I don't understand. Maybe this guy does have a 3-point shot. I don't know.
He's averaging 3 points a game overall.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
And I get it. You're taught to rotate out and all that, but you have to know who that man is. I mean,
right.
What are you doing?
The only thing that he can do is attack your closeout. Like there's no way that he's going to, just pull up and shoot that shot.
Or I saw Karl Anthony Towns do that one time, run out, and this guy just threw a pass to somebody who had a layup.
Right.
And I was like, what are we? Sometimes it's just, that to me, I guarantee you that the coaching staff has said to them, don't worry about this guy at the 3-point line. Or they said it to them during the game. And I think it's just a reaction, which is a little disappointing, frankly.
Yeah, that has to be better. And I'm hoping that, listen, I almost wish we had like 3 days off right now. OG needs to rest up or something, dude. Yo, have you noticed how much
in the hyperbaric chamber on the plane?
Have you noticed how much he's been like slipping and falling to the ground these last 2 games? Can we get some like sticky shit on the bottom of his shoes? Yo, why is he slipping so much?
Because he's tired. I told you. Family member Ryan Gentles explained to me that his blood oxygen is low because he used it all up in Denver.
Everybody goes and plays. So how do the Denver players ever play on the road? Like everybody.
No, they're used to it. No. Their body's used to it and their blood vessels are used to it. They know how to pump high oxygen. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you.
What about Brunson? Brunson was in Denver and he looked great in Dallas.
Brunson was in Denver, but listen, it affects everybody differently. That is exactly what Ryan said. It affects everybody differently. And this guy, he needs to be infused with some oxygen or something because, that game after Denver was a disaster. And I think you're still seeing it, man. So many times I just see OG out there. He looks like he's sucking wind.
But OG, that's always kind of his look, though. He always looks like that.
He does kind of look like that. And now I'm starting to wonder if it's real.
Yeah.
I used to think he just looks like that. Now I'm starting to say, maybe he doesn't just look like that. Maybe he really feels that way. What's going on?
Yo, these last 2 games, he's on the floor nonstop and like slipping, specifically like slipping and falling down.
Like not like for OG.
Yeah, we need to get him some new sneaks and like put some stickum on them. Like when I was a kid, we would always get hairspray from the cheerleaders and spray it on the bottom of our shoes. Do something, OG.
Something, OG.
Come on, man. Get it figured out, OG. Oh, no, but listen, obviously OG's had a fantastic season. Some people say he has a chance to become an all-star, especially with what he does on both ends of the floor. I just keep him healthy, man. Somehow, some way. Let's just keep him healthy. And I do think that his offensive bag has expanded and he's become a player that is, in that next echelon. And, I'd love to see a guy make that type of jump after you give him the bag. We love that part. And hopefully OG can continue to get it done on the offensive end, and hopefully Mikal Bridges can wake the fuck up, and hopefully we can string some wins together in this next part of the schedule that's a little bit lighter.
True. And another thing about OG that I noticed, though, in a game like Denver, Nick, where we were moving the ball so well, whipping the ball around, that really benefits OG. OG needs that little nanosecond more of time to get his shot off cleanly. When somebody's right up on him defensively, OG looks very slow.
Yes.
It looks very slow. You need to give him that moment, and that moment comes from the quick movement of the ball on the court. So I think those two will go hand in hand.
He's best when he's cutting back door and when he's attacking closeouts, and that happens from, everybody moving the ball and the offense humming, like you said. Hey, we'll see. Like I said, schedule is getting light here. Let's go ahead. Let's take care of business. We got a lot of home games coming up. We've been better at the Garden than we've been on the road. And hopefully we can just put some full efforts together. Full 48 minutes as Tom Thibodeau always asks for. But if you're checking us out, definitely subscribe to the channel. Me and the big guy, we do this show every single week. I also have my solo pod, Nick on Knicks, where that'll be waiting in the morning, waiting for you in the morning after every single Knick game. And then sometimes, like right now, we go live. So make sure you turn on alerts and then come talk with us in the comments. We greatly appreciate all of the love. The Jets are 3-8. 3-8. It's had a bye week last week. It's kind of nice to not have to deal with all the analysis of how much we suck. And we now are in a position where drafting a quarterback in the first round could be on the table, depending on what happens with the rest of the season and what other people do as far as tanking and losing. And then this week, really, the news is coming out that Rodgers says he does want to play next year, but some people say they're not sure if it's going to be with the Jets. I've seen scenarios where we draft a quarterback, Rodgers stays for one more year, and then he goes. Rex Ryan is still lobbying for the job and saying that he would want to talk with A-Rod if he were to come back. There's really not too much report on the Jets. I mean, how are you feeling about the rest of the season? Like, I know you. You're not a tank guy. You're not going to root for the team to lose. I understand that part. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter that people say root for the team to tank. That's stupid. They're going to play.
Nothing we actually root for matters. I mean,
I know, but people say, "Oh, we should tank," and it's like that's like saying, it should rain tomorrow. We can't control that, and the team is going to play hard and try to win. Players play to win. They're not going to play to lose.
I mean, there's definitely been teams that have tanked in the NFL before.
Yeah, but then it doesn't always work out. It's in no way foolproof because the players are still going to play and the coaches are going to coach to win. Okay, any coach that buys into a general manager saying to them, "Oh, we want to lose. Don't worry, we want to lose. Go ahead, lose. Don't worry, you're safe." That's the stupidest coach in the world. Every coach coaches to win because he realizes at the end of the day he is what his record is. So
to me, it's not necessarily about like wanting the players to go out of their way to lose as much as just wanting the team to lose as a fan so that we get a higher draft. I mean, the Jets have had some useless wins in games really affect their draft position over the years, specifically if we go back to with Zach Wilson in that year. To me, I look at it and I'm always one of those guys who I just say the chips fall where they may, and it is what it is. But I definitely understand people feeling like a lot of Giants fans feel the same way. A lot of Giants fans are like, dude, we need to lose every single game, because when you get to the top of the draft and you get that, that generational quarterback, that's really that's by far the most important and the best thing you can do for a franchise in the NFL. We've seen it over and over again. When you get that guy at the top and he is the guy that totally changes the entire course of your organization. Look at a guy like Joe Burrow and what he's done for that team. So I understand fans feeling that way. I just, if I'm going to watch the game, I'm going to, I've almost lost like rooting interest in the Jets though. Like I'm at the point now with this season where it's like, if we win, I'll be like, hey, that was nice. But if we lose, I'm not like absolutely devastated. Like in that last game that we lost by 1 point to the Colts, I was like, I was watching that game at the end, and I was definitely rooting for us to win. But when we lost, I just went on with my day.
Because Nick, you realize also too, we have nothing really to play for. You also realize there's nothing really positive going to come from this season. And, chances are we are going to lose. So you're not as invested. Absolutely. Everybody feels that way. As far as rooting for the team to lose, my whole thing is if you want to root for the team to lose or somebody wants to root for the team to lose, go right ahead. I just think if I'm going to watch the game, I am not going to watch the game and sit there and actively root for them to lose. If I want them to lose, I just would probably not watch the game. So, I mean, listen, I watch every game as it's that game, and I'm rooting for my team to win that game. I just, I just don't understand sitting there watching a game and rooting for them to lose, then just don't watch. I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless I guess if you're rooting positively for the other team, I don't know. You know me. I think
that fans, when they're in that position, they want to see like good individual performances, but we end up losing the game. I think that's I think that's the mindset. I don't know. It's not, like I said, it's not me. It's not how I view the game. But I definitely. Hey man, if we lost every single game and then we were able to, take one of these top quarterbacks, it would suck. It would suck this season, but it would be good for us in the long run. And we'll just see how it all plays out.
Right. I mean, listen, I'm not upset if we lose every game. I'm not going to, be bawling my eyes out if we lose every game from here till the end. I mean, and it's altogether possible. I mean, let's face it, this team's a shit show, so it's definitely possible. But, hopefully we get some, like you say, hopefully we get some good individual performances, some good things to feel good about next year. I don't have any confidence in this coaching staff. Obviously, I feel like the coaching staff, everybody has to change. So, that I'm not going to see something and say, okay, like, Downing's got it figured out. He's gone.
Yeah,
he is gone. As soon as last game, these guys don't even, just bring your shit to the last game, bro, and we'll give you a plane ticket and you go home. But so I mean, seriously, what else is there? But as far as Rodgers, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I mean, I don't think Rodgers is going anywhere else and playing. I don't think that. So I think if he's going to play, he's going to play with the Jets. I don't think he's going to leave the Jets and go play with somebody else and start this whole thing over with somebody else. I don't think him personally he would want to do that. And two, I'm not sure that there's that many teams who want to bring in Rodgers right now, and deal with all the fanfare. Whether it's Rodgers' fault or not, he brings a lot with him. And, you have to figure out, do you want all that with him? Unless the guy is, really going to give you that kind of superior play. And we're kind of caught in that situation, but he's here. Right. I don't think anyone else is signing up for that right now.
Yeah, so. I don't know. When you look at this game against Seattle, it would be poetic if we got lit up by Geno after we got lit up by Sam Darnold earlier this season.
Oh, that's very possible too.
Yeah, more than
Seattle
possible.
Plays hard, man.
Yeah, okay? Man. Yeah,
they could bust our ass.
They could easily bust our ass, and then getting lit up by Geno, that won't feel good, obviously. And like I said, we got lit up by Sam Darnold earlier this season. Well, I don't know, maybe Zach Wilson will light us up next season when we play against whatever team he ends up with. But it's just, yeah, man, tough season. We got it's 3-8, so it's 11 games. We got 6 left.
Yeah, man, those are tough games. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe we play Miami twice in that stretch. Yep. Okay, so now this is what I'm thinking about. When do we play Miami at Jet Life? Because if it's cold enough and we let them off the hook and let them win a game when it's below 40 degrees in MetLife, I'll be disgusted. Because them boys do not want to play in the cold. Okay? And like they were talking about the game yesterday, if you're Mike McDaniel, you know the deal.
Last game in the season, January 5th.
You know what I'm saying, Nick? We should be able to Come on, man.
And
These guys
hopefully,
don't
yeah,
want to.
especially if they're like fighting for something too in that game, we gotta,
Exactly.
yeah.
Can we get a little get back? And then like I'm saying though, I don't know if Mike McDaniel did this, but I saw somebody talk like he didn't. Dude, you need to be getting your team to Green Bay to practice 3 or 4 days in advance
Yeah.
in the cold. Okay? Because if you've never played in the cold, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I thought that I listen. I just think that Green Bay was the better team yesterday and is the better team
Absolutely.
overall. I mean,
But
Green
there's
Bay
different
is.
things. When you get cold in football, Nick, when you get cold, these guys don't want to hit, man. Some guys love it, and they just run right through it, and they'll play right through it, and they get warm, and you're good. But if you're cold and you feel like you're cold, oh my God, the worst thing in the world is to have somebody knock the shit out of you in football, and that's how some of those Miami players looked yesterday. Honestly, they looked exactly like that yesterday to me, especially that punt return.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Packers are, sitting at 9-3. Obviously, the NFC North is just a juggernaut right now. You got the Lions at 11-1. The Vikings are 9-2. And then I mean, around the league, you just got a lot of teams with really good records. The Eagles are 9-2. The NFC South, that's really the most like mediocre division where your best team is the Falcons at 6-5. But I mean, if we go over to the AFC, the Bills are 9-2, Chiefs are 10-1, Steelers are 8-3, Ravens are 8-4. Texans are leading the AFC South at 7-5. Right now, if you had to pick it, what are the two teams that you expect to see in the Super Bowl?
Right now, I'd have to say that's a tough one. I mean, NFC. Listen. I think Detroit, but I feel like these injuries with them is going to start adding up.
They've been having a
lot of tough injuries, so it's getting kind of crazy. And I got to tell you, man, I think I go Philadelphia now. With Jalen and with Saquon coming on, and that boy wasn't it AJ Johnson? He's a monster, man. That receiver. So I got to go Philly and AFC. Nick, it's going to be either KC or Buffalo. I think. I don't think the Redskins. I'm sorry. I don't think the Steelers have enough. Okay, they've been playing pretty well, but they don't have enough to make it all the way through the playoffs. I like the Steelers, but I don't think offensively they have enough with Russ. Russ has played well, but I don't think they'll go that far. And then who else we got in the AFC who can make a run?
AFC, a lot of people would say the Ravens.
Yeah, no, listen, there you go. Okay, so I'm sorry. I messed up in not even saying that because I think when it comes right down to it, Ravens versus Buffalo, ooh, man, that's a crazy game. That will be an exciting game if and when we get to see that. I listen, I like Lamar, so I want to root for Lamar, and I don't like Buffalo, obviously, in our division. So I would surely be rooting for Baltimore in that situation, 100%. And I like John Harbaugh. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah,
I don't have anything against McDermott, but I like John Harbaugh.
I agree with you on the Eagles. When you got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and then you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith as your skill position players, and then you have a defense that's been playing much better, an offensive line with Mekhi Becton playing right guard.
Crushing.
He wouldn't play right tackle. He was talking. Remember that whole thing that he had with the Jets, where he's like, "I'm a left tackle. I didn't want to play right tackle." Now he's playing right guard over there, and he's busting ass and having a great season. And they're all.
He got a little smart after he got. You get cut and you get a little humble. He's willing to take a job in the NFL at that point, Nick. He's willing to play fullback if that was the only job somebody was willing to give him. Okay, not that they would, but
Yeah.
And as far as
some of it is him getting humbled.
Yeah.
Some of it is him getting humbled, but some of it is just, a better organization understanding how he's best used.
Oh, no. I think the Jets put one of them at right tackle and would have put him at right guard, but they thought they had other people they could fit there. But he wasn't coached as well as he's being coached now. Okay, the offensive line play as a whole is not as much better as what he's doing. So he's playing better because he's being better utilized. And, I don't know that he's in better shape. I don't know. He looks like he's in better shape. Maybe it's just a haircut.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's in better shape, but he definitely looks a whole lot better. That's for sure. And he's been able to stay healthy, which is something
Yeah.
that always eluded him when he was with the Jets. I don't know if they have, if that's him being in better shape, if that's just happenstance, or is it that, they have a better conditioning or, medical training staff. I don't know exactly what it is, but like so many other players that we've seen, they leave the Jets and immediately level up. So you get to a certain point where that happens enough, and it's like, okay, this isn't just happenstance. Like I said before, like there's something to this. Like, why does this happen so often to this organization? And it's happened for quite some time, it feels like.
I just can't get over, reading when somebody said about him, and when he first joined the Jets, that this guy's 10 pounds of bubble gum in a 5-pound bag. And now he's killing it in Philly. Come on, man. Come on. Get Keith Carter out of here, okay? He's my pick for worst coach on the Jets staff. You heard it here first, folks. Keith Carter.
Keith Carter. Well, he won't be there next year, so we'll see if the next guy can
sure.
figure it out. But Soto watch continues. There's been weird things that have gone on this week with he followed a bunch of Mets at one point, and I think Steve Cohen's wife, Sandy Cohen, she followed Soto. There's all these different rumors. It seems like the teams that are really involved are the two New York teams, looks like the Boston team, and some people have said that the Dodgers are involved as well. The Dodgers just continue to get richer. They just got Blake Snell, and now they look like they're in on Soto as well. I'm wondering, I've heard before winter meetings, I've heard after winter meetings, you would think within the next couple weeks we would find out, but I'm really hoping that we get him. Obviously at this point, I'm in. There was a time where I was like, if we get him, great, but now because of all this back and forth in this courtship, I want him. And, we'll see what ends up happening with that. Obviously, it looks like, Cohen is not only willing to give this guy the bag, but he's also willing to, really put his best foot forward as far as recruitment of him. They say that we had a great presentation for him on everything that we, looked and envisioned for him in a Mets uniform. Did you see? I saw that, he tried out for the Mets when he was 15. And he said he said it was the best tryout he'd ever had, and he was super excited and thought he was going to get an offer, and the Mets didn't make him an offer.
Who can we blame for that? Sandy Stearns or what? Not Stearns.
No,
guy before him. Sandy Alderson.
Sandy Alderson.
I don't know.
I can't do the math.
Listen, the Soto stuff. I mean, listen, we're all praying that we get Soto, man. When I see that come across my phone, either as an alert or a text from you saying we got Soto, I'm going to be so pumped. I may let out a yell at work. Actually, at work, I would let out a yell because it would piss off all the D-back fans. But the other thing is, I haven't heard a word about Alonso.
Well, they say that the entire hitting market is waiting on Soto.
Yeah, everything. Soto and then is his first domino.
Okay. He's the first domino, and everybody knows my stance on Pete. You do not let that guy get out of the building. You say to him,
gotta keep Pete.
You got to give us rights of like last refusal. You know what I mean? You got to come to us,
right?
If you get an offer and see if we'll match it. But I say you make him a good, healthy offer that he looks at it and says, why would I go anywhere else if I can get the money that I want here?
I have a hard time seeing Pete just walk away from the Mets without matching, giving the Mets a chance. I feel like Pete will be coming to the Mets saying, don't you want to match this, please? He wants to stay here, man. Come on. He's having pancakes with Mr. Met, with his Met robe on. I want that Met robe, by the way. I actually looked for it online. Can't find it. Do you know the commercial I'm talking about?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, man, it's the best Met robe ever. It's a Mets robe, Pete Alonso with Mr. Met, and they're eating pancakes.
Hey, if you know where to get that Mets robe, to throw it in the comments.
Let us know.
Throw the link in for the big guy. Maybe that'll. He won't see it. I will. So maybe that could be a Christmas present for me. But Christmas/birthday, because we know you're getting a joint one because you've been getting this short into that your entire life. That's not changing in your 60s.
Yeah, but don't be buying me one of them robes that say large XL. That's like that shit you find in a hotel. It's always small. Okay, so don't buy that.
You got a real complex. You got a real complex with robes being too small. You
I hate small robes.
you have a thing about that. You have a thing about
Yeah,
that.
well, you're the one that wants to wear a robe like a mini skirt, not me.
No.
Okay.
You
You're
tried
running
to
around the
say
house
that
looking like a rocket.
you tried to say that my robe was mad small,
Okay.
and then we showed that you were clearly exaggerating it because
Yeah,
it was
okay.
mid shin level. You tried to act like I had
Listen,
on like a
mid
nightgown.
thigh at best.
Dad, we took the picture. We know it's
Come
mid shin. The robe's right here. I will go put the robe on right now in this podcast and show everybody that it's not small. Okay.
All right. Okay.
There's
Sure
not.
thing, Brunson.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, man. Listen, I hope the Mets get Soto. I hope the Mets bring back Alonso, and then we need some pitching help as well. I just, I'm the Soto thing. I'm just ready for something to happen, and then for all the other dominoes to fall, as they say.
Oh my God, yes, please. Can we? Come on, man. This needs to happen already. But they say if nothing else, it'll happen by the winter meeting. So that's a week. We're going to know something by next week. This time, we should know something.
Right.
Okay.
As we were watching the game yesterday, the Bears game, you and we looked at each other and said, "Yo, this cat might get fired over this."
Boom.
And Eberflus this morning got fired. Really weird how they did it though. He,
stupid.
In the post game comments yesterday, he actually was saying that he was basically standing by the decision and the way that they managed it at the end. He was basically saying like, it didn't work out the way that we wanted, but what he was saying was gibberish. It was nonsense. He clearly blew it. There was a million different things they could have done that were different. But then he comes out this morning, gives another press conference, and then right after that, he gets fired. I saw somebody comment online like the Bears messed up the timing of this firing the same way that Eberflus messed up the timing clock at the end of the last game. But yeah, he's out. He's been on the hot seat all season. A lot of people, this is not the first time that he's had, bad clock management. And then my thing is just like, this dude, Caleb, you get the number one pick. You're already having this type of upheaval early in his career, which we have seen destroy lots of quarterbacks before. But if he's that bad, then I guess you just got to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, right?
Yeah, no, you got to get him out. That decision yesterday was absolute garbage. I mean, seriously, he just froze in the moment, Nick. I mean, worst case scenario, and frankly, okay, two things. After Caleb gets the sack, right? Because I heard some guys talking about it on the radio today. First of all, they should have been saying in Caleb's ear before the play, Caleb, the one thing you can't do is get a sack. You can't get a sack. If somehow that does happen, you get right up and call a timeout. But the coach on the sideline, as soon as that happened, should have been calling a timeout. 32 seconds left. I mean, and then we can, just simply and some people might say, no, don't call a timeout there. Say the timeout, get up and spike the ball with like 20 seconds left. I don't know, but you got to stop the clock.
Well, you can't spike the ball right there because it's third down. So if you spike the ball and then you just got one throw into the end zone. So you call the timeout right there. Spike. Yeah, you call timeout right there. You try to run a play that's something that's towards the sidelines.
Right.
And you tell them you can't throw the ball in the middle of the field. And then if you have to in the last play, then you just throw to the end zone. Like I saw in his post-game comments, he kept talking about how, well, if you do this and you get to that point, then now you're just throwing the ball into the end zone. Well, guess what, buddy? That's better than not getting a playoff at all.
Dude, you're right. You're getting one less playoff. And I heard one guy say today, somebody needs to explain to Eberflus that you can't redeem unused timeouts for cash. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, dude, why are you saving this, man? You're not going to have an extra timeout next game.
Right.
I mean, it's just stupid. And, call a timeout after the sack. First of all, I think Caleb should have thought that way. Okay, I'm thinking like we always say to the kids, know what you're doing before the play and go over the scenarios in your head. And yeah, I get it. There's a million things going through this young man's head at that point. That's why you have coaches on the sideline. That's why they have microphones into your helmet. But it's just, yeah, I blame the coaching staff 99.8% on that. Caleb gets the 0.2%.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. He's got to figure it out. Caleb does, but I mean, the coach needs to be running on the field and screaming and getting a timeout right there. And then, you have 2 plays to get into field goal range and tie up the game against the best team in the NFL. But instead, you get nothing. The last 30 seconds just tick off without getting a playoff at all. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
0 cents.
Well, hey, it cost him his job. So he, he's out now, and he'll probably be coaching at some, Big Sky, college program or something like that after this, because I don't see him, people rushing to give him any sort of big time head coaching job anytime soon.
How about that offensive coordinator, though, who's now the head coach? He interviewed for the offensive coordinator job this year, didn't get it. They gave it to this guy, Shane Waldron, who they subsequently fired and promoted this guy from passing coordinator to offensive coordinator. And he's done very well with Caleb over the last few weeks. Now he's head coach. And who knows what happens? Does he get a chance for the job for next year? This might be the greatest year ever in this guy's life.
This is a nice audition. You got, what, 5 games left for them, and he'll be able to, show exactly what he can do. And I mean, if they can look good in these last 5 games, and especially if he can have like a really good stretch for Caleb and he can, build a good relationship, then maybe he ends up being the guy.
Yeah, could be, man. Just run a tight ship, guy. Keep doing what you're doing on offense. Run a tight ship. They don't have the worst defense in the world, okay?
No,
it's not like a Swiss cheese D. So run a good offense, run a tight ship. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. But look like you got your shit together, and he might have a job next year.
They're a couple offensive linemen away from being a decent squad, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, they need some better help up front. Caleb's running for his life a little too much.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I mean, I feel like a lot of times when you bring in the new quarterback as the number 1 pick, they end up coming to a team without a great line, and then you build the line there subsequently. So both in free agency and in the draft, they're definitely going to have to do some improving there, and I hope they do for Caleb's sake.
Yeah, same here.
All right, so now we get to a segment that has swept the nation. We've had a couple lean weeks, but we're not going to focus too much on that. Overall, we have a very good record. We're looking at, I think, 19-8 overall. So hey, well in the money if you have been following this little segment that we like to call the Big Guy Locks. All right, big guy, 3 games against the spread in this week's NFL. What do you got?
So I want it noted that I am working at a severe disadvantage because we had all 3 games on Thursday and 1 game on Friday, today. Mm-hmm. So the 4 games I cannot use now, okay? And those were blowout games, which would have been, well, no, the Giant game ended up being 7, but I don't know what the point spread was there. But anyway.
Giants were minus 4.5.
Let's move on.
Plus 4.5, and I know personally because I took them.
Okay, let's move on. I actually think I like the Chargers -1 at Atlanta. I think they're going to figure it out in Atlanta, man. I think the Kirk Thuggins is going to have a tough time. Maybe we see a little bit of Penix.
What do you mean maybe we see Penix? Why would we see Penix?
Well, because Kirk Thuggins plays like shit, and Nick Bosa gets to him in the backfield. I don't know. I'm just surmising, just throwing it out there. Okay. So then next, I'm looking at the Commanders -5.5 at the Titans. In Washington.
That line is moved to -6. Just so you know, that line's moved to -6.
I'm still taking him. I think this guy, the young boy, has a bounce back week this week, and I definitely think he does something good this week. And who else I like? Yes, Jaden Daniels. I like the Rams. I like the Rams over the Saints. I think the Saints are spiraling.
So the Rams -3?
Yes, Rams -3 over the Saints. That Eagles-Ravens games wouldn't touch it. I got to tell you, maybe I should have went with the Bills over the Niners. Niners also reeling, but I'll stay where I am.
Okay, so you like the Chargers -1, the Commanders -6, and the Rams -3.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there, man. Get on board, get paid. Let's go.
Catch us every week on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts. Please follow, like, comment, and subscribe. Listen, you can go on all platforms. You can listen to us. Give us a like. We really appreciate all the love. You can find us on all socials at he_did this to me. Love you, big guy.
Love you, kid.